Are you a parent that struggles with yelling? You try to stay calm, but you find yourself raising your voice at your children? Well, I am here to tell you today that you never have to yell again. You are not a yeller. You are a parent that has adopted yelling habits. And that's a good thing because if it's a habit, it can be changed. That's why today I'm sharing a list of 3 habits to help you go from yelling to calm. I'm Kristen, and this is Mommy Breakdown, where I, a teacher and mom of 2 myself, break things down so you don't have a breakdown. Let's get started. Habit number 1, you are not observing before reacting. This is important because chances are you are about to yell and you are not privy to what occurred before this moment. So you hear your children screaming in the other room. You don't know what happened that led up to the screaming, and you are about to go in there and yell. Or you're standing at the door and you've told your kids 5,000 times it's time to go, and no one is standing there with socks and shoes. By taking a step back and observing the situation, you can take in information like maybe my kid had to go to the bathroom, or maybe they couldn't find a sock, or maybe the one sibling was teasing the other and that's why the other sibling threw something at them. Instead of resorting to yelling, I want you to take a moment and think about what can I do on my part as a parent to avoid these situations. I'm going to give you an example. Let me take you on over to my front door where I have created a checklist. I created this checklist because we had a reoccurring problem. I would stand at the door. I was frustrated. Nobody was with me. Nobody helped get everything ready. So I created the checklist and my children helped me. So when my daughter says, I'm ready, I'm by the door, let's go, I go, are you ready? Check the list. Because she would often forget, oh, I need to go to the bathroom before I go. Oh, I need my water. Oh, I want a snack because we're going to be gone for a long time. And my kids do have food allergies, so that's why we have that there. Think of what your reoccurring problems are and try to find solutions to them so that you do not resort to yelling. Habit number 2, you are not providing consistent warnings to your children. I encourage you to think about right now, what do I do in my home when my kids don't listen? Do my kids know what happens? Do I know what happens? And if you say to me, Kristen, I don't know, well, that's why you're yelling. You don't have a program in place. And if you don't beat yourself up. The reason why I even know about all of this is because I am a teacher. So when I was in the classroom and I had students that didn't listen, I couldn't scream at them. That's not appropriate. I had to get them to listen and follow directions without raising my voice. Here is a program that I used as a teacher that I continue to use as a parent. It's called 1-2-3 Magic. It doesn't have to be that program though. I want you to look into different programs and find one that works for you. You can even meld some programs together. The point of this habit and breaking this habit is, what do I do when I'm frustrated and I'm angry and I've had enough and my kids aren't listening? Does everybody know what's going to happen? And that will eliminate the yelling right at its source because you don't have to raise your voice. You know what happens next. You have a plan in place. Okay, so here I am editing and I am trying to get to habit number 3 and it has completely just erased from my, you can hear my husband's phone in the background. We are really on a roll. You guys get this. Sometimes everything is just not working. It says file unsupported, but I don't want you to miss out on this habit. The habit is that you are asking too much of your child. For example, let's say you're asking your child to get to the door like we talked about earlier. Maybe they are not capable of remembering a sequence of 3 steps. Maybe you have to break it down to 1 step at a time. You ask them to clean their room and they're not capable of just walking in and cleaning it. You might have to help them. We're going to clean the dinosaurs first and then I'm going to come back and then we're going to do the Barbies. Or maybe your kids are playing together and they start to fight and argue. Think about, at what point do they start to fight and argue? Am I asking too much of them to be alone for 30 minutes in unstructured play? We want to take where our kids are and push them a little bit every time. I'm guilty of it as well, where I've left my kids for too long while I'm in the middle of something like editing this video. And then they start to argue and I go, okay, you know what? I'm not even going to discipline them right now because this is on me. There are moments. So that is a habit that you're going to want to break. is, am I asking too much of my kids? The worst thing about yelling is that it is a linear climb. Your kids don't listen, so you yell. Then you have to yell louder because they're not listening to the original yell, which just results in more yelling, louder yelling over time, you getting more frustrated, and then damaging that relationship that you want to have with your child. Also, it might interest you to know that the person who's solving all of these problems on how to get kids to listen, it usually falls on the primary caregiver. If you are the primary caregiver, then you are carrying that very heavy mental load. I encourage you to check out this video if you'd like to hear more about that. I'm here every week with a new video on parenting challenges. Hit the subscribe if you're interested. Remember always that it is practice makes progress, not practice makes perfect. And I will see you again next week. Bye.